Republican lawmakers investigating the origins of the impeachment effort want answers from the Inspector General about his contact with the whistleblower. Congressman Devin Nunes gave the IG until Friday to respond or face action from the DOJ. One America's John Hines caught up with Nunes and has more from Washington.
Congressman Devin Nunes is the senior Republican on the House Intelligence Committee. One America News caught up with the California congressman to ask him about the latest developments in his investigation into the intelligence community Inspector General Michael Atkinson and Atkinson's contacts with the Ukrainian whistleblower. We also asked him about the unity within the Republican conference in the House of Representatives at this time and other issues. Here's what he had to say. Take a look.
Could you give us a little update on what's going on with your investigation of Mr. Atkinson, sir?
So he got a letter on Friday. He has until this Friday to provide evidence, documentary evidence, of the claims that he makes about the change from it being needing first-hand to second-hand information.
This is Mr. Atkinson.
Yes, and the change on the form. So meaning that if you're going to be a whistleblower, traditionally it had been you needed first-hand information. You couldn't just be hearing stuff in the locker room and making stuff up. And there's other answers about on the form and why the form was changed after the fact. So none of that really adds up. So he's got till Friday to provide it.
I thought there was some previous deadline that he perhaps missed. What happened with that?
Well, he didn't miss it. He responded. He responded, but it was what I would call a non-response response.
And so where does it go, Friday, and then what are your options after that?
If he doesn't respond Friday, then the only option is to criminally refer it to the Department of Justice, because we don't have subpoena power.
And
meaning that the Democrats have the subpoena power, we're not in charge, so it's another reason why the Republicans, need to get back in charge. If we had subpoena power, we would have already had the documents, and either he'd be proven innocent or he'd be criminally referred already.
A little different subject. Impeachment may have succeeded in uniting the Republican conference. Do you have any thoughts about the potential for picking up seats, particularly within California in the next election cycle?
Well, the challenge that we're going to have, I think overall, is going to be crowdfunding. The Democrats have this ability to, because they've poured gasoline and poisoned so many of Americans with this Russia hoax nonsense and Ukraine hoax nonsense, is they have a lot of small donors, and so they can move millions of dollars quickly to candidates all around the country. Then they came on top of that with Bloomberg's money, and that was really the way that they were able to beat us. They just had just an overwhelming amount of cash. So we're going to have to build that system up. We're going to have to rely on small donors and be able to crowdfund ourselves. And I think if we can build that and we can get our candidates enough money, we're challenging in 50 seats, and we only need to win 20 of those. So, and the polling looks good, but at the end of the day, you got to have enough to get your message out.
So you are challenging 50 seats. That seems like a pretty ambitious goal, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the expert, but yeah, there's definitely 50 seats. Remember, 30 of the seats are seats that Trump won in 2016. So, if we can just repeat what happened in 2016, we have a really good shot to win the majority back.
There's something like 24 seats were won by less than 5% or something like that. Is that? I can't remember exactly what it is.
Yeah, there's a few different numbers out there, but essentially it was like, I think, only around 100,000 total votes across the whole country. If we would have, in the right places, we would have had the majority still. So, and look, and I still believe that it was the Russia hoax that led to us losing the majority, because remember, up until Mueller report came out, you had over half of the American people that believed that Trump had done something wrong with Russia, which it was all a hoax, it was all a lie, but it's taken a long time to get to the bottom of that.
Speaking of the Russia hoax, do you expect that your colleagues will continue pursuing the president in various ways and various routes?
My guess is that old habits die hard, and they're going to have a tough time getting away from this. They've promised Russia, then they switched to Ukraine. They've promised impeachment. My guess is it's going to continue.
Reporting from Capitol Hill, John Hines, One America News.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.